My name is Mark Buck. I am Vice President of Admissions with EC Council University. I'm so excited you have decided to join us this morning for one of the webinars in our ECCU webinar series, Careers in Cybersecurity, the Demand Continues. So I welcome everybody that joined us. In a second, I will go through an agenda and let you know exactly what we're going to cover today. What I will ask is that if you do have any questions, that you hold those till the end. We will leave some time for some Q&A. We will ask that if you do have a question towards the end, please submit that via the chat function in the webinar. We will do our best to answer every question. However, if for some reason we're not able to get to every question, we will provide you contact information whereby you can reach to us with additional questions that you have. So again, I welcome you. Thank you for joining us. So let's go ahead and let's get started. So our agenda for today, some of you have already emailed and asked, why did I receive this invitation? Or some of you have registered wanting to know more about who EC Council University is. So we're going to spend a minute or two, let all of you know who we are. We're going to then progress and talk about some of the current trends and threats in cybersecurity. We're going to talk about some of the recent findings, some of the projections, and what some of the anticipated trends and patterns in cybersecurity are. We're going to talk about some of the industries that continue to see an increased need in preparing for cybersecurity and in preparing their organizations and their industries for the cybercrime that continues to grow. So we'll talk about those industries that are in need. We'll talk about the global employment outlook. You know, the topic is careers in cybersecurity. So we're going to talk about how the employment outlook is looking for 2023 and for many years to come, and why that employment outlook continues to grow. Then we're going to talk about why earning a degree is important. There are various means of entering careers in cybersecurity. We'll talk about the difference between earning certifications, earning a degree, so that you can determine for yourself which pathway is the right pathway. So who are we? Who is EC Council University? We're actually a university. We're dedicated, and we create cybersecurity programs that prepare our graduates to face the latest cybersecurity risks and to lead their colleagues and their organizations in handling those challenges. Many organizations continue to face cybersecurity threats, and our goal as a university is to prepare our students and prepare our graduates so they can impact those organizations and have an impact with their colleagues in leading their organizations and how to address and how to handle those cybersecurity threats. EC Council University builds on the recognition of our parent company or our parent organization. Many of you might have heard of EC Council, which actually stands for the International Council of Electronic Commerce Consultants. EC Council is actually, we're recognized as an IT certification body specializing in information assurance and e-business. EC Council, our parent company, is one of, if not the largest provider of cybersecurity certifications globally. And then EC Council University was built as an extension of EC Council and was licensed by the New Mexico Higher Education Department in 2006. We are a fully accredited university. We are accredited by DEAC, which stands for Distance Education Accrediting Commission. We also are recognized by other organizations such as CHIA, ACE, and the National Council for State Authorization Reciprocity Agreements. We take our accreditation very seriously. We are a US-based institution, although many of our students come to us and our international students. We are a fully online institution, So individuals have the ability to balance work, life, education, and still pursue an education in cybersecurity, as well as maintaining other areas. When somebody asks, who are we as an institution? We always like to think that we are our alumni. We place specific values and qualities on ethical behavior, innovative thinking, critical thinking, scholarship, and leadership. And we'll talk a little bit about the difference between simply earning a certification and ultimately going on and earning a degree, either at the bachelor or the master's level. As an educational institution, we know that many employers, if not most employers, are now not just looking for individuals that have certifications in cybersecurity, but they're looking for individuals that can be innovative thinkers, individuals that can become problem solvers, individuals who have the problem solving but the conflict resolution skills as well. So all of those embody into what we provide to our students in addition to these certifications. We like to think that our students learn from the best in the industry. The majority of our faculty are actually working professionals. So they're working in their specialization, in their area of expertise. So they have the opportunity to bring those real world situations into the class and bring those into their labs so the students have the ability to practice and learn from real world situations. I would really encourage all of you that after today's call, you spend time looking at our website, seeing who our faculty are, and seeing why we believe in hiring the best within the industry. So let's transition now and talk about the current environment. What are some of the trends and some of the threats that we're seeing, and why are these trends and threats creating an outstanding employment and career opportunity for many people? Well, according to a study conducted by the University of Maryland, computer hacks happen on average every 39 seconds. All right. Cybercrime is estimated to have inflicted $6 trillion in damages, and that's $6 trillion US dollars globally in 2021. That's just an astonishing data point. Think about it, $6 trillion in damages in 2021. And if we take a look, Cybersecurity Ventures expects that global cybercrime and the costs inflicted by these damages will grow by 15% over the next 5 years, reaching $10.5 trillion by 2025. And that's up, the $6 trillion is up $3 trillion from 2015. And trying to put that in perspective, that dollar amount inflicted by cybercrime or damages, that is actually the greatest transfer of economic wealth in history. And to put it in even more perspective, cybercrime inflicts more damage than all natural disasters globally, and it's more profitable than the global trade of all major illegal drugs. So think about that. If you took all of the damages from all of the natural disasters worldwide, and you took all the damages that are inflicted from all major illegal drugs, cybercrime actually exceeds those. So just keep that in the back of your mind when you ask yourself, or people ask you, why are you contemplating a career in cybersecurity? This is exactly why. That demand will continue to grow. And we'll talk about why those demands continue to grow. What is cybercrime? So we'll talk about cybersecurity, but cybersecurity is really a way of addressing cybercrime. And cybercrime is damage, and it's damage, it's theft, and it's destruction of data, money, productivity, intellectual property, personal and financial data, embezzlement, fraud, and I can go on, right? And these damages in cybercrime happens in all areas and in all industries. Some industries that we're going to get to are a little bit more prone to being victims of cybercrime, and we'll get into those. So continuing, cybersecurity is a way of addressing these threats that exist, right? Why are these trends continuing? Very simple. The advancement of technology and innovation is always going to create new opportunities and increased risks for threat levels. I had a conversation with a colleague the other day, and if you take a look throughout the course of history over the last 200 years worldwide, I think we can all agree that over the last 50 years, most of the advancement in technology and innovation, most of that advancement over the last 500 years has come along only in the last 50 years. So as that acceleration of development in technology and innovation continue, so will come those additional risks and those threat levels. You'll hear the term ethical hacking, and that's basically the ability for an organization or an individual to go ahead and go in and figure out means and ways of hacking into databases. The digital landscape has changed dramatically, and organizations need to provide training. I'm sure many of you that are employed have probably gone through training with your employer, and many organizations require that. And that training might have been ways of protecting your data or the organization's data. I know we alone go through ongoing training in terms of how to create a unique password, how to create multiple passwords, training such as when not to leave your computer on, when to log on, when to log off. All of those little simple things organizations are training individuals on, because those are means by which the cyber criminals can access and hack individual and organizations' data. Another reason for the increase in cybercrime, think about the pandemic and what COVID did. COVID really required organizations to look at how their employees work. And organizations not only allowed, but they were required to have their employees work remotely, work from home. That created a whole new and unique set of technology advancements and adaptations that organizations had to allow. And what that did was that created new portals and new opportunities for cyber criminals. So just the way that we have changed globally in terms of how we work remotely is another reason for the trends and the threats that we see. So what are these cyber attacks? Where do they happen? How do they happen? You might have heard the term phishing, and if you've gone through training, maybe this was part of the training, and most likely it was. Phishing is a way where somebody, a cyber criminal, can tap into your system and send you an email that looks like an email from a family member, or maybe from a boss or a colleague. And it looks very simple, it looks harmless, and it might be an email from your boss that says, hey, I'm just checking to see, do you have availability to meet later today? And oh, by the way, I lost your cell phone number. I'm updating my contacts. Send me your cell phone number. If you open that up and you respond, that cyber criminal may have the ability to tap into your phone and actually access your data. So phishing is a way where cyber criminals send you very simple emails trying to get you to open up an email or an attachment, and they call it phishing because the bait makes it look like it's from somebody that you know. Ransomware strategies, this continues to grow, and this is where cyber criminals actually can gain access to organizations' data, and then they attempt to hold the organization hostage, literally wanting ransom and wanting money in order to protect or return that data. Cryptojacking. The whole cryptocurrency has created a whole unique set of opportunities for cyber criminals. State-sponsored attacks. And we'll get into that a little bit more level regarding the level of government agencies that are now vulnerable. right? IoT attacks, the ongoing development of the internet and how we use the internet, is creating opportunities for cyber criminals and the need for advanced cybersecurity. Medical devices and electronic medical records, and we'll get into those a little bit more, but the healthcare industry, huge area of vulnerability right now for cyber criminals. Third parties, vendors, contractors, partners, the way we do business now globally, some of it because of technology, some of it because of the way we're forced to do business because of what the pandemic and what COVID required, creates new opportunities. Connected cars and semi-autonomous vehicles, right? The ongoing technology and innovation with automobiles has really challenged the automobile industry. And then social engineering, just the way we use social media. Is cybersecurity really the future? I won't get into it, but again, I would encourage you, look at our blogs, look at our website. Cybercrime continues to be a huge issue globally in India, Nigeria, Singapore, the US, CIO.com, Business Line, Forbes. I would encourage you to look at periodicals because they will continue to talk about where the most vulnerable areas are and where the greatest career opportunities are. What are the industries that are in need of cybersecurity? Well, one of the most obvious is banking. Why? Because criminals go where the money is. And the banking and the financial industry is probably one of the most vulnerable and has one of the greatest needs for cybersecurity. Healthcare. I think most of us can appreciate and recall a time where we went into an emergency room or we were in a hospital, right? And somebody comes in and they might come in with a laptop or with an iPad, getting our information, our insurance information, maybe swiping a credit card to cover costs of services. So the way that healthcare is functioning now, how they keep their healthcare records for their patients is really critical, and it's created a whole new area of vulnerability. E-commerce. I don't think there's a Saturday or a Sunday that goes by in my neighborhood where I don't see the Amazon truck at least 10 times, right? The way people purchase goods and services using e-commerce creates a whole new area. Manufacturing. Manufacturers now, how they provide their services and their products to their clients are doing e-commerce now more than ever. Automotive. I have a former colleague who works for General Motors, and they have recently amped up their cybersecurity team and their cybersecurity measures. Why? Because as they develop more technology and advanced innovation for the automobiles, it's creating an opportunity for cyber criminals. So if I go into my car and I sync up my phone to my Bluetooth in my car because I have that smart vehicle capability, my cyber criminals now have the ability to hack my data by accessing my data and my phone through my vehicle. So the automotive industry it's a relatively newer industry, but it's an accelerated industry needing assistance in cybersecurity. Hospitality, an organization I worked for, we had a convention in a different city in the US, and there were 500 attendees. We had received information that approximately 400 of the guests had their data breached and compromised. So somebody was able to hack the database of that resort that we were at and access all of our information. So whether you were paying for a cup of coffee at a Starbucks, you're at a restaurant with your family, or you're checking into a hotel, the whole hospitality industry is again another industry in great need for increased cybersecurity. Your state, your federal, your local government agencies, these are agencies that cyber criminals, if they're able to get into, they can access not only the data, but the funding. Think about all of the data, our own personal data that is tracked, whether it's income, social security numbers, credit cards, banking statements. Many times that data is maintained at state, federal, and local government levels. Cyber criminals, if they have the ability to hack that, get access to all of that. Education, we might think education, why is it necessary to protect somebody's grades? It goes well beyond that. I can tell you that there were two major universities here in the US over the last 2 years that had to spend millions and millions of dollars to try and re-access and regain all of the data of their students, because there's much more than just grades and information. There's financial information, personal information. So educational institutions are becoming a more frequent target for cyber criminals. The airline industry. I don't think I need to remind people about the tragedies that ensued on 9/11. And they ensued because we had different forms of terrorism in individuals that were able to take control of airliners, but they did so physically. One of the greatest areas that we need to protect from a safety perspective is the airline industry, because it's not far-fetched that there are terrorist groups who have intentions of someday taking control of an airliner electronically or remotely. And just think about the tragedies that could ensue if that were able to happen. So the airline industry, in working with various different safety organizations across the world, are in constant position of ensuring that that doesn't happen. And how do we do that? We do that by increased levels of cybersecurity. And then mobile communication. I already, gave an example for the automotive industry, but everything we do, I think those of us who either have raised children or are raising children, can attest to, our children or family members always on their phones, and how much the mobile communication has become. So all of these industries continue to grow in developing needs in cybersecurity. So let's talk about the job market and the employment outlook and what that looks like. In 2020, cybersecurity jobs grew by 38% compared to 18% for all other IT jobs. So we talked about all of the advancements over the last 50 years in technology. Take all those other IT jobs that are out there, combine them, put them to the side, and cybersecurity jobs alone grew by 38% compared to 18% for all those other jobs. So that just gives you an idea of the level and the impact that cybersecurity has from an employment perspective in IT. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the number of individuals employed within cybersecurity, it's expected to grow by 31% between 2019 and 2029. Again, 31% by 2019 and 2029. That exceeds the average for all other occupations. So all those industries that we just went through, take all those industries, look at employment outlook in other areas other than cybersecurity. In all other occupations, cybersecurity is the #1 growing occupation. So what are these in-demand career opportunities? So I'm going to encourage you to take a look at some of these, but I'm going to encourage you to go on employment sites such as ZipRecruiter, Indeed, Job Recruiter. Go and take a look and see where these career opportunities exist. Take a look at the job titles. Take a look at the salaries. Take a look at the requirements. Do some research and identify what these positions are, what they do, what they pay, and what the requirements are. But cybersecurity has a wide variety of different types of careers, right? And what I've done is, from a U.S. perspective, I put down what some of these average salaries are. So we have security specialists, right? Incident responders. An incident responder, it's kind of like a paramedic, so to speak, or a firefighter for cyber criminals. These are individuals, as soon as an organization's data is breached, these are individuals that come in, immediately take control and try to identify and subdue and minimize the situation. A security administrator, somebody whose job is to make sure that they're monitoring and making sure that their data in their organization is safe. A vulnerability assessor, somebody that goes in and says, I'm going to try to find the breaks and the cracks in our security and see where we're vulnerable. A cryptographer, right? Somebody that can go in and look at the data and look at the language in which the data is being written and provided in an organization. Is it safe? Security manager, somebody that makes sure, hey, I'm managing the security of our data in an organization, making sure that employees are properly using their logins, their passwords. I went to change a password and I got an email internally saying, you're utilizing this password in 2 other areas. You need to use a different password. So kind of a security guard. Imagine you're trying to get into a venue or an event. Security guard is stopping you and saying, should you be here? Are you doing the right things? As you advance in your career, you're going to get into different types of leadership positions, right? The Chief Information Security Officer, or you might have heard the term CISO. That's what CISO stands for. So every organization has a CISO who leads all of their information security and their cybersecurity efforts. An information security analyst, somebody that goes in and looks at different ways of securing all of their information. A security auditor, just like a tax auditor, somebody that's going to come in and do an audit of all of your security mechanisms and come back and say, yes, we're doing things right or we're doing things wrong. A forensic expert, think of a forensic expert in crime, somebody that comes to the scene of a crime and says, I'm going to look at all of the evidence here and try to determine what was the source of the crime and who were the criminals. Very much the same thing within cybersecurity. There are forensic experts that come in when data is breached and says, I'm going to go back and I'm going to find the evidence. And many of these forensic experts, they do exactly what forensic experts in other areas of crime do. They put together a case, they put together the evidence, they come back, they help determine, if prosecution is necessary. They might be asked to present in a court of law. So just in other areas of crime, there are forensic experts. Source code auditors. Every organization in protecting their data, has a specific way of how they define their code, and having individuals come in and check that. And then penetration testers. This is another level, and these are individuals that come in and their job is specifically to try and break into your data. Imagine if you had a brand new security system installed on your house and you wanted to see if it worked. Maybe you'd hire a former criminal or hire somebody to say, try to break into my house. Tell me what's working. Tell me where I'm vulnerable. That's what a penetration tester is. Somebody that's going to try to break in and get into the database of your organization and then help your vulnerability assessors indicate where you're vulnerable. But I just want you to take a look and maybe make a note of some of these career titles, because then you can go in and start researching the different salaries. So let's talk about kind of the global outlook. We talked a little bit about the US and some of those industries. Some of them are global, some of them are US specific. There are 3 primary countries that have seen increases in cybercrime and really have an accelerated need for addressing cybersecurity. The first one is India. And I'm not going to go through all of these data points, but they're indicating that the cybersecurity market for products and services is going to grow to $35 billion in the next 10 years. compared to their current present $4.5 billion. So think about that. The need for cybersecurity products, services, individuals is going to grow to $35 billion from $4.5 billion. And why is it? Well, there's a rising demand for cybersecurity professionals, and the industry is facing a significant shortage of experienced cybersecurity analysts and professionals. And so if that demand is going to grow and those threats are going to grow, so will the job opportunities. And what's an interesting point is that despite possessing the world's largest IT talent pool, India currently lacks experienced and leads in that lack of experienced cybersecurity experts. So I want to repeat that. Despite possessing the world's largest IT talent pool, India still currently lacks and is one of the leading companies lacking in having enough experienced cybersecurity experts. Cybersecurity jobs and salaries in India, many of the very same titles that we just talked about: network security engineer, cybersecurity analyst, security architect, cybersecurity manager, CISO, ethical hackers. So if you currently reside in India, or you're looking to do some global work in India, just take a look at some of these titles, some of these salaries, because India will continue to be one of the leading countries in the world needing cybersecurity professionals. Some of the top companies that are hiring right now in India: Microsoft, Accenture, Salesforce, Deloitte, Thomas Reuters, and there are many others. But many companies are setting up shop and expanding their operations in India specifically to help address cybersecurity. Another country that is experiencing an increased need in cybersecurity, and that's Nigeria. And why is that? Well, there continues to be increases in signature-based antiviruses that are going on. There continues to be a rise in what is called deep fakes, or these are criminals that go much more deeper into, I'll call them cons, right? They're cons that they try to play on vulnerable individuals. Maybe you've received an email from somebody indicating that they're a resident in Nigeria looking to get money in the US, and they're asking you to send them money. They're finding more and more of these confidence crimes are initiated from the company of Nigeria. So the cybersecurity is going, and the need for cybersecurity is going to continue to build in Nigeria. What are some of the job opportunities? Same thing in other areas, those areas that are vulnerable: financial service, banking, health industry, the Ministry of Defense, governmental as well as non-governmental organizations. So if you currently reside in Nigeria, or you're looking for job opportunities in Nigeria, they're very plentiful and they're very rewarding from a compensation standpoint. Singapore is the next and the third largest country that is needing increased coverage in addressing cybercrime. There were a little under 2 million web threats against internet users that were blocked in Singapore between April and June in 2022. Think about that. That's a 3-month period of time in 2022. Little under 2 million threats were blocked. They were detected and blocked. Think about all of those threats against internet users that weren't detected, that weren't blocked, right? And we're actually seeing a 17, almost an 18% increase in cybercrime during those first 3 months compared to this year. The senior minister and coordinating minister for national security just unveiled and updated an entire national cybersecurity plan for Singapore, knowing and understanding what the threats are. So again, if you reside in Singapore, or you're looking to do work in Singapore, there's a wealth of opportunities because there's a very high demand and there's an employment gap that's not being made. Here's just some other points regarding threats in Singapore. Singapore is a country that saw significant increase in cybercrime due to COVID and individuals exploiting those who were vulnerable to COVID. The increased use of untested technologies, utilizing vaccines, providing at-home COVID testings. For one reason or another, Singapore saw a significant increase due to COVID and individuals in this region targeting those who are vulnerable due to aspects of COVID from a cybercrime perspective. Same thing as in other countries. Where are those opportunities? Business firms, financial, healthcare, Ministry of Defense, governmental, non-governmental organizations. So let's talk a little bit about EC Council University and what we do. EC Council University, we provide a number, and we can prepare individuals for careers in cybersecurity in a number of different ways. Maybe you already have a cybersecurity certification, but you recognize that many, if not most employers are starting to require a bachelor's. So whether you have a cybersecurity certification or background or not, we provide a bachelor's, and we have a bachelor's of science in cybersecurity. If you have certifications, we can look at those certifications you have and figure out a way that they can count towards credit and maybe course waiver at the bachelor's level. We have a master's of science in cybersecurity. Both our bachelor's and our master's are designed to provide opportunity for individuals that maybe have not been in cybersecurity. So you might have a bachelor's degree in accounting or in finance, but now you've piqued your interest in cybersecurity. So maybe you have a bachelor's in accounting or finance, and now you're going to get a master's of science in cybersecurity. In all of our programs, we do not require you to have a degree or a background in IT, in cybersecurity, because while you're in our programs, you will be earning the certifications that you need, whether it's a certified network defender, whether it's a certified ethical hacker. We embed those certifications into our programs. So if you don't have those, or you have a background in a non-IT or non-cyber security field, that's wonderful, because you're actually going to be able to double up and take whatever experience you've had in another area, and we can still prepare you for a career in cybersecurity. If you already have a background and you have that coursework or those certifications, we can take a look at those and possibly transfer those in, allowing you to waive courses in the bachelor's or the master's programs, so you don't have to take or pay for those courses. So in either case, we're here to work with you and help prepare you for that career. We have a master's of science in computer science. So we just launched this, and we're so excited, because what makes ours different is we actually focus on foundations in blockchain technologies, artificial intelligence, and robotics. So our Master's of Science in Computer Science has a focus in cybersecurity, as well as focusing in those areas. We also provide graduate certificate programs, right? So maybe you're not interested in earning a degree, but you want to earn a graduate certificate. So we have certificates in informational security professional, security analyst, enterprise security analyst, digital forensics, incident management and business continuity, and then also executive leadership and information assurance. Maybe you have a bachelor's, maybe you have a master's, maybe you just want a graduate certificate. That's great. And then we also offer non-degree certifications. Maybe you say, you know what, I'm really not at the point where I want to embark on a full bachelor's or a master's, but I just want to get a certification in certified ethical hacking. We have a pathway for you. So you can take individual courses to help you earn those individual certifications. As a matter of fact, many of our students that come to us in our bachelor's program started out as non-degree seeking students, just taking and earning one certificate at a time. And then they got to the point they were working in the industry and said, my employer wants me to have a bachelor's. And we were able to take those certifications and transfer them in. So the most important point is, wherever you're looking to either enter into the career, a cyber security field, if you're looking to enter it, or you're already in it and you're just looking to advance, we will meet you wherever you are at to help you in your career. Why earn a degree? As I said, many of our students have already earned their certifications through us, but then they come back. Why is earning a degree important? Well, first of all, more employers are requiring them. They're requiring you to have a bachelor's degree or a master's degree. So if you don't have those certifications, instead of going out and earning those first, maybe you decide, I want to get a bachelor's, and you can earn those certifications while you're in our program. Degrees qualify you for more advanced positions. If you're looking to advance and move into a leadership position, someday you're going to need a degree. Having a degree actually increases your potential for salary, increased salary and compensation. Having that degree provides you a wider networking or the ability to network in larger forums, in larger organizations, in communities. We talked a little bit, why are employers looking for the degrees? Because they believe it provides a more well-rounded education, that individuals who have degrees were challenged while they were earning that degree. So they're coming with problem-solving skills. They're coming with the ability to assess and analyze a situation instead of just taking and earning a certification. They believe that having a degree gives them a deeper knowledge in cybersecurity rather than just having a certification. Larger employment opportunities. You know, your options from an employment perspective will grow immensely if you have a degree. We talked about the development of critical thinking skills, and it helps prepare you for the future. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and see if we have any questions in our chat. I'm hearing how cyber is not an entry-level field. What are the opportunities for entering from a non-IT field without experience? Is there opportunity for those individuals? Absolutely. So I'm going to go back to what I had said earlier. For many of those job titles, okay, they are entry-level positions. So first and foremost, getting the necessary certification. So maybe you're not working in IT, but you opt to go and get a certification as a certified network defender or in certified ethical hacking. Simply having that certification, even without the degree, will allow you to enter into those fields. So if you have a background in a non-IT area and you enroll in maybe one of our non-degree courses and you get those one or two of those certifications, that will qualify you for many positions and jobs entering into the field. We work with a lot of employers that hire individuals from ECCU who simply have those certifications and haven't earned those degree yet. So again, I would encourage you, go onto those job sites, Indeed, ZipRecruiter, and see what those minimum requirements are. Does EC Council University give a scholarship? Absolutely. One of the things I would encourage you to do, go to our website, because we provide many scholarships. We provide Dean's Scholarship, hardship scholarships. We provide scholarships for individuals who were in the military, not just the U.S., but individuals who served in the military in other countries. We provide scholarships for family members of those who served in the military. In addition to that, we also have the ability to provide regional scholarships. And what I mean by that is we recognize that the socioeconomic situation is not the same as in different parts of the world as it is in the US. So we have region-based scholarships. So what I would encourage you to do is, and I'm going to encourage everybody, if you have any questions, we have a team of expert admissions advisors who are available to answer your questions. And they can help you identify whether you would qualify for those scholarships or not. As a matter of fact, we find that many of our students have a perceived idea of what it's going to cost them to attend ECCU, and many of our students, if not most of our students, are surprised to find out that their perception was not the reality, that by the time we looked at the various funding options, the various scholarships, their individual situation was far less than what they had anticipated. So yes, we absolutely provide scholarships. You know, one of the things, and I know one of the questions was not coming from the field, or if you not have a background in IT. So I can tell you that the banking industry, if somebody has a background in accounting, maybe they just worked in accounting, maybe they've just worked at a bank, or they worked in accounting, or they have a degree in finance. Banking and financial institutions, they're very eager to get those individuals and hire those individuals that have a background in another functional area, and then at some point entered into cybersecurity. Think about how valuable an individual could be to a banking or a financial institution. Having an undergraduate degree or a background in accounting or finance, and then having multiple certifications in cybersecurity. I mean, that's a dream person for them, because that's somebody that's understanding their specific industry, that's somebody that's understanding aspects to their function and their business, and in addition to that, has that expertise in cybersecurity. So we have another question. I'm a junior cybersecurity analyst at the Bank of Baroda. I'm asking what measures or best practices should I take and concentrate in order to be competent in my career? Well, my first question would be, if I were an admissions advisor, I would ask what certifications you have, what level of education you currently have. Do you simply have certifications, or do you also have an associate's degree, a 2-year degree, a diploma, a bachelor's degree? So what I would encourage this individual to do is to speak to one of our enrollment advisors. They can have a conversation with you and really kind of get a determination and an idea of what your complete background experience is, what your credentials are. Then there will be an opportunity to figure out what does your career path look like. And one of the things we do with every student, and I'm so proud of this, is we put together a career plan for you. Whether it's you just want to earn a certification or two, a graduate certificate, or whether you want a bachelor's or a master's, we're going to put together a plan. You're going to have an academic evaluation that's going to provide you with an A to Z plan to get you from where you're at to where you want to be. Is ECCU well recognized in the US and globally? Absolutely. So I'm going to go back to what I had stated earlier. We are actually an extension of our parent company, which is EC Council, which is one of, if not the largest provider of cybersecurity certifications. We have hundreds and thousands of institutions and organizations that send their employees to get our certifications. And again, yes, we're fully accredited, and we are a US-based institution. So those factors provide us and should provide you the confidence that your degree, your certificate, your certifications will be well recognized and well respected. Will age be a factor if one is above 50 and looking to transit to cybersecurity without any prior qualifications? I would say absolutely not. You know, we see many of our students that come to us, they're coming to us for a second career. So again, if your background is not in IT or cybersecurity, ECCU is a perfect place for you. The employment gaps are so huge globally that employers know they can't be picky and they can't be selective. So they're very eager to look for individuals that are entering or looking for, we call them career transitioners. Maybe they spent 20 years, 25 years in a different career. Now they have a passion for cybersecurity and they're looking to transition. So many of our students are career transitioners. We have many students that are retired. They retired from a particular career that they were in. We have students that spent an entire career in law enforcement and they're retired, which means they're at a retirement age. Now they're looking to embark on a new and a second career in cybersecurity. So absolutely, don't let that stop you, because we have many students and many great examples of individuals just as yours that were able to be successful. Should I have a solid foundation of networking before doing a bachelor's? If yes, what do you recommend? No, you don't need to have a foundation in networking. We're going to teach you and give you all of those foundations and the certifications that you need in order to be successful. I will tell you that our bachelor's degree is a degree completion. So you do need to have 60 credit hours to enter into the bachelor's program. It could be 60 hours in physical education, elementary education, biology, accounting. We don't care. I like to tell people we're the Ellis Island of cybersecurity. You come to us with 60 credit hours, we don't care what it's in, because when you're in our bachelor's, we're going to teach you the networking foundations. We're going to teach you those aspects of computer science that you need. We're building those cybersecurity certifications into the program, so we don't care. If you don't have 60 credit hours, then we recommend those non-degree courses to start building up to those. So enroll in those non-degree courses, earn those different certifications, because then what you're doing is you're earning the certifications. It's allowing you to start working, going out and getting a job in the industry, and then you're building up to those 60 hours, and then you can complete your bachelor's. Let me see. I am working as a network analyst, CEH certified, and gave a lot of interviews on this certification. One of the interviewers said that you have good knowledge, but it's 5 years old. So now what is next? Do I have to take and upgrade my knowledge? This is all employer-based. There are some employers that will require you to have a certification that was earned within the last 2 years or 3 years. So I can't comment on those employers, but if you have a certification that you're looking and employers are saying you've earned that too long ago, then I would encourage you to look at maybe recertifying. We do work with a lot of companies that put their employees through our certification courses just because they're the most current. I'm going to go back to our faculty, not just our faculty, but we hire experts in the field to develop our courses and make sure they're always the most current and they're always the most relevant. So to this individual, again, I can't comment on what employers and the employees you're interviewing with, but you might want to talk to an admissions advisor about recertifying and making those certifications current. Do we offer career services to help students gain employment? Yes and no. While we do not have a formal career services department, we do have a student affairs department, and we do work with, and while you are enrolled, we do provide and give you access to resources in terms of how to construct a resume, interviewing tips, and all of those aspects. We do make very public those companies that hire our graduates. And again, I would encourage you to look at our website. The one thing that I will say that I'm proud of is that earning, whether it's a certification, a graduate certificate, or a degree from ECCU, I'd like to believe that having that on your resume is definitely going to catch somebody's attention, because employers are well aware of the quality of education, the skill sets and the competencies that our graduates and our certificate holders come with. So while you're enrolled here, we'll absolutely give you access to that information, give you access to resources, and try and provide you guidance on how to go about building your profile, your resume, and getting a job. Will we reach out and schedule interviews for you? No, we don't provide those services. And to be candid, we've not really felt the need, nor have we seen the need to provide that, because go back to, and I would encourage you to look at our testimonials from our alumni. Our placement rate is so high, and our alumni, to be quite candid, many times have employment secured by the time they graduate. Okay, so I'm being told that we have already gone over, so I appreciate my colleagues that try to keep me honest. I would encourage you a couple of takeaways. Number one, please go to our website. Spend time, look at our website, read our blogs. We have so many blogs and articles about questions, about careers in cybersecurity. Many of the questions that you've asked. I don't have a background. Can I get in? What are the job outlooks? Go and read those testimonials. Read those blogs. Number two, go out on the job sites. Look at the job titles. Look at the entry-level positions, what those requirements are. Try to identify a position or a job that really gets you excited. And then number three, I'm going to really encourage you to reach out to one of our enrollment advisors. You can request specific information on our website. You can go ahead, type in your information, and one of our enrollment advisors will reach to you. We'll schedule a time to talk to you, answer all your questions. Also on our website, we have a US-based phone number. Feel free to call that phone number, leave a voice message. We have a US and an international team that will reach back to you, have that conversation. You've come this far. Obviously, you have an interest, you have a desire. Your interest has been piqued. I'm pretty sure you probably still have more questions. Your interest is probably even higher now. Take these next steps, reach out, speak to us, and we'll help you determine whether cybersecurity is the right career choice for you or not, and whether EC Council University is the right pathway for you or not. It might not be, but I think you owe it to yourself to take those next steps to determine for sure whether it's the right career choice and whether ECCU is the right opportunity for you. With that, I want to thank you, everyone. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful day. And whatever path you choose, we wish you well. We wish your families well. And we hope you do well in your career. Thank you, everyone.